So good evening, everyone. So we continue from where we stopped. Last week we looked at integration. So today we just continue from where we stopped, and we are going to be looking at a fresh topic today. And one of the topics we are going to be looking at is the equations. So under the equation, we are going to look at three things. First, we'll look at functions. We'll talk about linear equations, quadratic equations, and simultaneous equations as time permits us. So I start with functions. So that is equations. We are talking about equations. So any expression given to you in mathematics in which you have equal sign existing in that is automatic an equation. So if you have s plus 1 equal to 0, this is an equation. But if you have just s plus 2 plus y, and there's no equal sign, it's not an equation. For it to be an equation, there must be an equal sign. That is very important to note. So I will start by talking about linear. Under the equation, we'll be looking at two basic parts. Let me say three. I will talk about linear equation, then quadratic equation. We look at simultaneous equation, and we now look at quadratic. Inequality. We now look at inequality. Inequality. So these are things we are going to check today. Before we can also I'll be a bit fast so that we can catch up with the time. So then we'll talk about function. Which I'll just explain what function is all about. So let me start with function before we go to the equation. Function. In function, I can say given that f of s is equal to s squared plus 3s minus 5. For function, they will now say find f of s if s is equal to, let's say, 2. As an example, you have to do this. All you need to do, you have given that s is equal to 2. So what you need to do is to substitute 2. So where you have s, or the question will just say, or the question can say find f of 2, just this way. That means s is now taken to be 2. So in that case, if f of s is given to be s squared plus 3s minus 5, then you are looking for f of 2, and that is s is equal to 2. In that case, f2 will now be substituted 2. So where you have x. So this will give you 2 squared plus 3 into 2, then minus 5. That is when s is 2. So when you do this, this will give you 4, and this will give you 6 minus 5, and then at the end, you have f. So f of 2 is now equal to 5. And that's what we mean by function. That's what we mean by function. Another example still on function before I go to equation. Another example, give me f of s equal to 3s plus, let me say, square plus 4s plus 3. So the question is find f of 3. Find f of 3. So what we need to do, just substitute s. 3 to where you have s. So that the function becomes 3 into 3 raised to the power 2 plus 3, then plus 3. 3 raised to the power 3, that is 3 times 3, that will give us 9. So this will be 3 times 9. And this will give me 12, that's 4 times 3. And this is 3. This will be 3 times 9 will be 27 plus 12, then plus 3. By the time you sum up this, your f of 3 will give us 30, and that will be 42. And that's what we mean by function. So, and that's what we mean by function. You'll be given what to replace your s with, and you'll be able to do that. So, let's now go to equation. Now that you have understanding of what a function is, equation. So, firstly, I'll be talking about linear equation. An equation of the form, an equation of the form AS plus B equal to, let's say, A is called linear equation. What determines the type of equation you are dealing with, either linear or quadratic, is the power of x. Since the degree, the power of x is this, since the power of x is 1. Since the power of x is 1, so as plus b equal to n. N here can be any number, b can be any number, a can be any number, but s, since it's having the power of 1, that is a linear equation. So when you are talking about linear equation, we talk about equation of that form. So example now, I can say find s if 3s plus 4 is equal to 7. Or let me say it's equal to, the s is equal to 7. So what do we do? When you take anything across the equal sign, the sign will change. So we have 3s plus 4 equal to 7. Take 4 to the other side, so that this becomes 3s equal to 7 minus 4. So this will be 3s. 7 minus 4, that will give us 3. Then divide 2 by 3. By the time you divide 2 by 3, so this will be divided by 3. This is divided by 3. So this will give us s is equal to 1. So equation of this form is what we refer to as linear equation. Another example, still on linear equation. Another example, find s if 7s plus minus 5 is equal to 9. Is equal to 9. So the question there says we should find s, given that 7s minus 5 is equal to 9. So the same thing, take this one to the other side, take minus 5 to the other side. So we have 7s equal to 9 plus 5. So this will be 7s equal to 14. That is 9 plus 5 equals 14. Now I can say divide 2 by 7. So when you divide this one by 7, divide this one by 7. This will cancel and we have s. Cancel here, this will equal 2. And that's what we call a linear equation.
Sir?
Then
Sorry. Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Please, why did you do plus 5 here and the other side you do minus 4?
Because we are having plus 4 here.
Okay.
When it cross the equal sign, it will change the sign, become minus. It is existing as minus. When you take it to the other side, it will give you plus.
Okay.
So this sign will change once you are taking a value across the equal sign. Are we okay? So let's now move to quadratic equation quickly. For quadratic equation, let's now talk about quadratic equation. For quadratic equation, we have 4 basic methods of solving it. So we can talk about factorization method. We talked about formula method. We talk about completing the square method. And lastly, we have the graphical method. So these are the 4 basic methods of solving these are the 4 basic methods of solving quadratic equation: the factorization method, formula method, completing the square method, and graphical method. In the class, I will take you through these 2, and at your convenient time, look at how you can go about the remaining 2. So let me start with factorization method. Well, you can say, example, want to do factor. I will solve the same question with factorization method and formula method. So I will only be dwelling on a formula method and the factorization method. The completed the square and the graphical method at your convenient time, you can go through it. Due to the nature of your exam, the 2 methods that will take you, if any question comes out on contractive equation, you'll be able to answer it correctly. So let's take this question. S squared plus 6s plus 5 equal to 0. And we are to solve this using factorization method. Now look at the idea of factorization method. The idea is that what 2 numbers can you multiply that will give you 5? And when you add the same 2 numbers together, it must give you 6. 2 numbers that when you multiply it, it will give you 5. And when you add the same 2 numbers together, it must give you 6. And the 2 numbers, as you can all know, the 2 numbers is 5 and 1. 5 times 1 will give us 5. 5 plus 1 will give us 6. Now, those 2 numbers that you have, you will now split this 6s into those 2 numbers. So now look at s squared, s plus 5s. This is 1s to say. Then plus 5 equal to 0. So since we have 1 and 5, so you now split the 6 to 1s plus 5s. After that, then take it to 2. Take these 2 together, take these 2 together. So if you look at this first side, you see that s is common to the 2. I can write as s into s plus 1. By factorization, then if you look at this 5 is common, I can put 5 out so that we have it as s plus 1 equal to 0. The main interest when it comes to factorization method is that what you have inside the bracket must be the same. If I tell you that you're solving factorization method and you do not get the same thing in the bracket, there's a problem. That means factorization will not work or you have done the wrong thing. So if you look at this, what you have in the bracket and that is saying you cannot collect what is behind it. That is s plus 5, bring that together, then s plus 1 is now equal to 0. At least you factorize again because s plus 1 is now common to the 2. So we can have it as this. So from here we can say s plus 5 is equal to 0 or s plus 1 is equal to 0. So this shows that s is equal to minus 5. By the time you take 5 to the other side, then take 1 to the other side again. This will give you s is equal to minus 1. And this is by factorization method. Just what 2 numbers, the idea is what 2 numbers can you multiply that will give you a particular, that will give you 5. And how when you add the same 2 numbers together, it will give you 6. And that's what I did. Just continue to simplify in that direction. So the second, let me take another question still on. I will not claim this so that we can see the difference between the next question I will pick. So let's say another example. You are giving 2s squared plus 6s plus 3 equal to 0. Then you know, we have 5 here. So this is another good question. If you look at the first one, there is no number. It's only s squared that's standing here. But in this particular one, we have it as 2s squared. So what you need to do, so there's 2 here, but assume take this 2, use it to multiply what is here. Take the 2 to multiply the last number. It's because here we are assuming that there's no number, we can assume that there is a 1. Now when we pick the 1 and use it to multiply 5, it will not still give anything. So here you can say 2 multiplied by 3. When you take 2 multiplied by 3, that will give you 6. So in your mind, this is now 6. It's no longer 3. But you will not change that number. You will not change that number 3 to 6. But you assume in your mind that instead of 3 here, it is now 6. So you can ask, what 2 numbers can you multiply that will give you 6? And when you have the same 2 numbers together, it will give you 5. just like the first case. What two numbers can you multiply? The idea is that it's not because I'm multiplying, at times it can be 3 or any number can be here. Just use the number to multiply what is here. And I say, don't change this 3, but now assume that what are the two numbers that will give you 6? When you add those two numbers together, it will give you 5. And that is the idea. So we are so fortunate that this one is so direct that the same two numbers that will multiply that give us 6. When you add them together, it will give you 5. But at times, when you get this 6, it may not work in that way. That is the two numbers you multiply that give you 6. When you add the two numbers together, you may not have 5. There are some cases like that. So you have to think of other numbers apart from 2 and 3. If when you add together, you don't have 5. Or like if I put this one to be 7 now, instead of 6, let me put this one to be 7 so that you can see what I'm saying. If this is 7, and I say, well, this is 2 times 3, this will give me 6. If you say 2 times 3, that will give you 6. But when you add 2 and 3 together, you cannot get 7. But there is always a way out. What do we do? Since this is not to be 6, I can say, what two numbers can we multiply that will give us 6? And when you add the same two numbers together, that will give you 7. You can see in this case, 2 and 3 will not work. But when you say 6 and 1, that is 6 times 1 will give you 6. 6 plus 1 will give you 7. That will work. So that is another way of going about it. So just take note of that so that I can work with 5 and here. So the two numbers that we multiply together give us 6. So this will now be 2s squared plus that 2 number. You will split the 5 into those two numbers. So this will be 2s plus 3s. That is when you add it together, you go back to 5s. So you now pick the number 2, these two together. So if you look at these two, you will see that 2s is common to the 2. So I can now factor 2s. If you remove 2s there, you are going to have 1. This will just be 1. Coming to this one, 3 is common. I can put 3, then s plus 1 equal to 0. The interest is to have the same thing in the bracket. Now that the same thing in the bracket, factorize it again. Now I say s plus 1 into 2s plus 3. This is now equal to 0. Here I can say s plus 1 is equal to 0 or 2s plus 3 is equal to 0. So the next is to take 1 to the other side so that we have this as minus 1. Or take 3 to the other side here, this will be 2s equal to minus 3. But we are actually looking for s, not 2s. So this 3 remains s equal to minus 1. Then this one we can now divide by 2. So that this will be s equal to minus 3 over 2. So by dividing through by 2. So that is how to solve using factorization method. So with these two examples, as well consult elementary textbook on mathematics. There all these things can be found here. Then let me go to the formula method. I will solve the same question using formula method. The same question, I will only be solving while the question remains. The formula method says, by formula method, the formula is s is equal to minus b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. That's the formula. That is the contracting formula. So going by this formula.
Sir.
Yes.
Sorry, please, that example 2, the third line. Please, can you repeat it again? Sorry.
This one?
Yes. No, the third one.
This one?
The third line. Yes.
So since we have the same thing in the brackets, just forget the one outside the bracket, this and this, put them together like this. That's one of these ones.
This is not the first time.
That's the way you go about it. That is just a layman explanation to it. But for mathematician, I will only tell you the factorize it.
Okay.
That is just that. Please mute yourself. You don't have any questions to ask. So I can go to formula method. The formula is s is equal to minus b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Here, the value that is here is your A. The value that is here is your B. The value that is here is your C. Now, if you look at this one, which is taken to be here, there's no value written there, but we always take it to be 1. We assume that there's 1. So once you can identify, you assume that A is 1, B is now 6, then C is equal to 5. Once you can identify your A, B, C, your A, B, and C, substitute the value into the formula so that we can have it as S is equal to B, 6, and there is minus there, this will give me minus 6, plus or minus square root of 6 squared minus 4. 4, A is 1, C is 5, all over 2A. 2A is 1. So this will give you S is equal to minus 6 plus or minus square root of 6 squared is 36 minus 4 times 1 is 4 times 5. That will give you 20. All over 2. 2 times 1 will give you 2. So this will be S minus 6 plus or minus. This will be 36 minus 20. That will give you 16 all over 2. So square root of 16, that is 4. So this can be minus 6 plus or minus 4 all over 2. So S is now, since we have plus or minus, so this will become minus 6 plus 4 over 2, or minus 6 minus 4 over 2. When you do these two correctly, minus 6 plus 4 will give you minus 2. So minus 6 plus 4 will give you minus 2. So this will be minus 2 all over 2. Then to the other one, minus 6 minus 4 will give you minus 10 over 2. That's it all. Minus 10 over 2. So by the time you divide, this answer will be S is now equal to minus 1 and minus 5. So we check the previous solving. I think we are now having the same answers. Are we okay now? So if we look at the solving with factorization method and the formula method give the same answers. So that shows that what you have done is correct. Then the second example can also be solved or be approached to the same formula method. The formula remains the same. Now we make the solving of factorization that can use the formula. So in the formula, the first number here, your A will have 2, the value that is here. Your B is 5, then your C is 3. If any of this name is minus, let's say there's minus 3 here, then your C will be minus 3. If this one is minus 5S, then your C will be minus 5. I mean, your B will be minus 5. So just take note. It's because we have plus here. That's why I'm not taking the sign. But if there is minus anyway, then you have to take the sign along. So the formula again is S is equal to minus B plus or minus square root of B squared minus 4AC over 2A. Substitute the value. This will be S is equal to minus B is now 5. B is 5 plus or minus B is 25. This will be 25 here. Minus 4. A is 2. Then C is 3. Everything over 2. So A is 2. This will have 2 here. When you simplify, this will be minus 1 plus or minus. This is 25 minus 4 times 2, that is 8. 8 times 3, that is 24. So this becomes 24. Everything over 4. This 2 times 2 here. So you now have S is equal to minus 5 plus or minus square root of 1, because 25 minus 4 will give you 1 all over 4. So square root of 1 is still 1. So in that case, this will be minus 5 plus or minus 1 all over 4. So S, because of the plus or minus, I can have it as S plus minus 5 plus 1 over 4, or minus 5 minus 1 over 4. Minus 5 plus 1, that will give you minus 4 over 4. Then minus 5 minus 1, that will give you minus 6 over 4. So by the time you divide, this will give you minus 1, or So 2 here will be minus 3, 2 here will be 2. And that will give you the same answer as the factorization method. So that is how to solve quadratic equation using factorization method and formula method. If you go by completing the square, you are expected to have the same value. Then you can as well use your graph to determine the value of S by plotting the graph and find the coordinate, the axis, the line. So with where your curve cuts the line on the x-axis. If you are using the graphical method, just determine where the curve, the thing is likely to do something like this, or you just look at the value you are looking for, and if it's something like this, the value here or the value along your x-axis will give you what you are doing. Sorry, I have less than 10 minutes to go, but if the thing logged me out of this thing, just remain enter so that I will log in back so that we can run the class. So next is to look at simultaneous equation, and after we now talk about quadratic equation as that permits me. But as I said earlier, my boss weeks I will bring the class to an end today. So the first material is with you. Go through and do justice to it. So for simultaneous equation, we have 3 basic methods of solving it. We have the elimination method. We have the substitution method. And we have the graphical method. So we have 3 basic methods of solving simultaneous equation. Either of these 3 will solve it. So for this class, I will just limit myself to the first 2 because of the third one require graphs, and we don't have the graph sheet. So let's go by the first 2. I will solve a question. I will take 2 examples. I will solve it with elimination method, and the same question I will solve with substitution method. But I will only limit myself to linear system of equation. That's the example. I'm going to define S and Y. So find S and Y. Find S and Y. If we have 2S minus Y equal to 1, then 3S plus Y proceed. Now let me so to use elimination method, I will use elimination method to solve each question, and I will take another question and use elimination method. So the same 2 questions I will solve with substitution method. To solve this with elimination method, elimination method says draw a line in between, add the value together. 2s plus 3s, this will give me 5s. This one is minus y plus y. By the time you add the 2 together, that will give you 0. So the y is cancelled, and that will give me 0. Then 1 plus 7, this will give me 1. So now let's be 5s is equal to 1. So this is now 5s is equal to 1. If I 2 by 5, I will give you 1 over s will give you 1 over 5. Now we have a result of s to 1 over 5. You cannot think of the 2 equations. Substitute the value of s to 1 over 5 and simplify. Anything you get will give you the value of 5. So let me take the first one, is 2s minus y equal to 1. Here we have s to 1 over 5. I can substitute here. This will give me 1 over 5 minus y equal to 1. I can take this y to the other side and bring 1 inside. So that this will be 1 is equal to 2 over 5. 2 times 1 over 5 will give me 2 over 5. Then minus 1. That is, take this one to the outside and bring this one to give you this. Then find the LCM of these two. When you find the LCM correctly, this will give me this will be 5 times 1, that is 5, 2 minus 5, that will give me minus 3 over 5. So your y, so what to do here is the LCM. This is 2 over 3 minus 1. Find the LCM, LCM will be minus 2. So the final answer will be minus 3 over 5. So the value of x is 1 over 5, and the value of y is minus 3 over 5. So that the question answer is find the value of x and y. Quickly, let me take another question. Finally, solve the equation. Solve the equation. Now, let's say we have s plus 2y equal to 1. Let me say 2s minus y equal to 2. So I want to use elimination method. For you to use elimination method here, it will not be direct, unlike the first one. We carry out elimination directly on the first one because I can see that these two can cancel. But for this second one, the two cannot cancel directly. But we have to make one to look alike. This one is y and y look alike in this case. That's why we can easily solve it. But for this particular one, there's no one that has the same coefficients. So what we need to do, I can say this equation, this second equation, I can multiply everything by 2. So when you multiply everything here by 2, this will now be 4s minus 2y equal to 4. That is 2 times 2s times y and 2 times 2. Then I cannot add these two together. So I will now have s plus 2y equal to 1. Then I will now do with 4s minus 2y equal to 1. So here now, since the coefficient of y are the same, I can easily use the elimination method. But the first thing is that if it's either s or y, you must make one of the two to be the same before you can use the elimination method. No, now, so I cannot add the two together. 1s plus 4s will be 5s. 2y minus 2y, that will cancel. Then 1 plus 4, this will give me y. By the time you divide, you see that s is equal to 1. So you can now use any of these two equations to determine your y. Already we have s is equal to 1. You can use any of the two equations to determine your y. So I can use equation 1, which is s is plus 2y equal to 1. So when we have s, it's now 1. This will have 1 plus 2y equal to 1. Taking this 1 to the other side, this will give me 2y equal to 1 minus 1. Because this is already 1. By the time you take this one to be minus 1. So this will be 2y equal to 0. And y here will be 0. So that's how to determine s and y by elimination method. So the same question, you permit me to solve the same question using substitution method. The same question, I want to use substitution method for it. So the first one, to use substitution method, you can pick any of these two equations to deal with, to solve with. In the first one, I can make y the subject. So in the first one, which is 2s minus y equal to 1, I can make y the subject. How do I do that? I can take this y to the other side and bring 1 to this side, so that this will be y equal to 2s minus 1. So I can say this is equation 1. Let me say this is equation 2. I can call this one equation 3. Equation 3 is obtained from equation 1, that is by making y the subject in equation 1. So I can now substitute the equation 3 into equation 2. And that's it. Substitute equation 3 in 2. So when you have y in equation 2, this is 2s minus 1. So this is it. I mean, this is it here. That is 3s plus y equal to 0. I want to replace it with 2s minus 1. So substitute it here. This will be 3s plus 2s minus 1 equal to 0. Take this 1 to the other side. This will give me, and this 3s plus 2s will give me 5s This one to the other side will give me 1. So this shows that S is equal to 1 over 5. So from here, I can easily determine my S to be 1 over 5. So I can now go to equation 3, which is y equal to 2s minus 1. Substitute s equal to 1 over 5 in it. So this is y equal to 2s minus 1. So this implies that 2 into 1 over 5 minus 1. So y is now equal to 2 over 5 minus 1, and this will give me minus 3 over 5. And that gives the same result as elimination method. So for the second question, I can solve that also using substitution method. Any method you use, you are expected to get the same result.